One of the major criticisms of the Star Wars Rebels series is that it's not as brutal as the Clone Wars. Many people say that Rebels is a show for a younger audience, and today I want to challenge that by sharing with you the 5 most brutal moments in Star Wars Rebels. Now, Season 1 of Star Wars Rebels is definitely referred to as childish at times, but one of the most brutal moments in Rebels takes place during this season. Episode 12, Call to Action, details Grand Moff Tarkin's attempts to track down the rebels on Lothal. In doing so, he eliminates 2 incompetent Imperials, Grint and Arisco.
There are whispers of this alleged Jedi in the streets. In time, such whispers might spark belief in something other than the strength and security of the Empire. And that, gentlemen, is something I cannot have. Make no mistake. From now on, failure will have consequences.
In one of the darkest moments in Rebels, these Imperials seem to be beheaded by the Grand Inquisitor. The shock on Agent Callus's face says it all. This is truly a brutal moment, even if it isn't shown on screen. I mean, if you listen really closely, you can hear the bodies hit the floor. And the scene certainly gets across the fact that Tarkin is a true threat to the lives of our beloved characters. But now let's skip ahead to the premiere of Season 3, which is one of my favorite Ezra Bridger moments. Ezra taps into the dark side and forces a stormtrooper to kill his friends and then commit suicide.
Don't worry, Sabine. I got us into this. I'll get us out.
Sabine's reaction helps us truly understand this horrific moment as Ezra uses dark side powers he learned from the Sith holocron. It's a dark and disturbing moment and really shows us how far Ezra has fallen to the dark side since the end of Season 2. But let's move on to another brutal moment in Rebels Season 1. Again, keeping in mind that this season is often referred to as childish, we have the death of the Grand Inquisitor.
What you've unleashed here today. There are some things far more frightening than death.
So, the Grand Inquisitor himself commits suicide rather than face the consequences of his masters. Truly a dark moment in my opinion, and one that sets it apart from many other animation shows. But let's move on and jump forward to the Season 2 finale of Star Wars Rebels, in which we see not 1 but 3 Inquisitors die. But in my opinion, the most brutal of these deaths is when Maul force chokes the 7th sister and is pressuring Ezra to kill her.
That's it, young one. Use your anger. Use your pain. Let it fill you. Fuel you.
No! No!
Strike her down. Try to end this. Finish her.
I can't!
Now, of course, Ezra doesn't follow through with killing her, but Maul sure does. This is one of the 2 on-screen deaths in this episode. The 5th brother is also stabbed and killed by Maul. Not to mention, Kanan Jarrus is blinded, and even Ahsoka Tano seems to be killed by Darth Vader himself. This is truly a brutal episode. It's a fantastic episode with tons of action and really helps us understand how the Inquisitors were eliminated, but it has to be the most brutal episode in Star Wars Rebels. Yes, there are other episodes where large amounts of rebels are destroyed in ships or in X-Wings, but not in a personal manner like this in a lightsaber battle. But let's keep going here. We skip forward to Season 4 of Rebels when we learn that Sabine Wren once helped the Imperials build a weapon that literally cooks Mandalorians to ash within their armor. Now, there are no blood and guts, of course, but seeing the Mandalorians reduced to ash within their armor is truly a brutal moment.
In this recording, you will see the first test trial of the weapon used against Clan Wren. As you see, the arc generator's energy pulse is drawn to the Beskar alloy in the Mandalorian's armor, superheating it and instantly vaporizing the target, and all the while doing no harm to our Imperial stormtroopers.
Now, what makes this moment even more brutal is considering that one of her main characters that we've come to love, Sabine Wren, created this weapon to be used against her own people. This, in my opinion, makes the moment by far the most horrifying in Rebels. So next time someone says that Star Wars Rebels is just a simple kid show, remind them or tell them about these brutal moments in Star Wars Rebels. And for those of you who are still with me, I wanted to include a special explanation as to why Kanan's death wasn't included in the top 5. But remember, this top 5 is basically my opinion. Yes, the death of Kanan Jarrus is brutal. There is this massive explosion which engulfs him. And while making this video, I really needed to reflect on why I didn't see it as such a brutal death as some of these others. And I think that comes down to the fact that Kanan sacrifices himself, protecting his family, and it's just overall an amazing moment in my eyes. It's not so brutal because Kanan embodies what a Jedi should be, a truly selfless being willing to sacrifice himself for others. And of course, this is a lesson that we see him pass on to Ezra, and Ezra embodies that in the season finale. So for me, it wasn't such a brutal moment, but a beautiful moment of a character fulfilling their destiny. But that all said, what do you think about these moments? Did I miss any other brutal Star Wars Rebels scenes? Should I have included the death of Kanan Jarrus in the top 5? Do you like this new type of video? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to make the Star Wars community a better place by sharing your thoughts and theories. As always, I'm Mike, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you all.